Hi everyone, welcome to Miss Adams Teachers and Inspector Calls. In this video, we're going to be having a little look at the AQA exam questions from the last few years and using those to maybe just do a few little predictions about what could come up in the 2023 exam happening next week. I don't have a crystal ball, so these are just thoughts and considerations to help you with your revision, but there's certainly nothing set in stone. Make sure that you are, of course, revising widely and broadly across the themes and characters. But for now, let's get started. Okay, so let's look at what has come up over the last few years since 2017. So last year's paper was absolutely spectacular, inequality leading to tragedy, alongside Eric and his lessons. But you'll notice, for example, that Eric has actually come up twice, 2022, lessons and changing, so 4 years apart, actually very similar questions, which is a really important reminder that we can predict, obviously based on what's come up, but exam boards do repeat themselves, so nothing can really be ruled out. Obviously, Gerald's come up quite recently with ideas about responsibility, and unfairness in society is again the most recent. So some of the things that I'm sort of noticing is there hasn't been a question on them as generations. So there's not been a question about the younger generation or the older generation per se, or that idea of the way that their ages perhaps creates that sort of sense of difference in the way that they view the world. So that might be an interesting one to come up. Now, we've had questions that are to do with discrimination. So, I mean, obviously, this is what the inequality one was, and the idea of society being unfair, but not anything specifically about gender. We've had male characters as irresponsible, but, you know, that's a possibility, something to do with kind of gender and inequality. We've had everyone as individuals, almost everyone, but not a question on relationships. So exploring the dynamic between Burling and Mrs. Burling, or the relationship between Sheila and Gerald. Oh God, like the theme of marriage, the concept of marriage, that might be interesting. Sorry. So yeah, so none of the actual relationship ones, Sheila and Gerald. You could even have like family relationships in that way as well. So, you know, the kind of patriarchal structures, Mr. Burling as father to Eric and how that differs to Sheila. So something to do with relationships or family, I think, is definitely a possibility for theme. Character-wise, guess who's not been on this list? Eva Smith herself. She's not on there, not once. So definitely, obviously, have a little look at her as a character, Eva Daisy, and you'll find that as you're revising Eva, you'll be revising big themes as well. Mrs. Burling, it's been a while since she's come up, her being unlikable in 2017. So that could get a kind of a reframe. Likewise, the inspector hasn't come up since 2017, so that could have a reframe. Like I said before, you know, yes, we can make some predictions and give a few little steers, but exam boards can do what they like, so they might just come in with a massive left hook and do something that we hadn't even considered. So as always, revise broadly, widely, make sure that you've got, you know, good quotes that cover a range of themes and characters, and you'll be golden. Don't worry. That's it from me. Hopefully that helped in some way, even though I know I was painfully vague. And let me know if any of the things that I put on the list come up, because I'll be really, really pleased. Okay, thank you so much. Happy revising.